to grow. Now, let's bring consciousness into the equation, which generally it hasn't been. So suddenly you're a conscious creator. What does that mean? It means you're not just stumbling through your day, trying to get to the end of the day, because we're reversing it now anyway. The end of the day is going to happen before the beginning of the day. So instead of just stumbling through the day, going through the motions, trying to get to the end of the day, suddenly you become conscious. You become aware. You're in a day. I mean, it seems simple, but most people don't realize that today is a day. In quantum allowing, I asked everyone to start their morning before they even get out of bed with I exist. It's really one of the greatest things you could do for yourself. I exist. Before those feet hit the floor. Sounds good, right? I exist. You come into that knowingness and that clarity. Ah, wow, I'm a creator. I'm here. Sounds really simple, right? Yeah. And then you'll do it once and you forget. Yep. Yep. Why is that? Well, that's a whole nother shout, but well, I wonder sometimes. It's so easy. You realize how much time and energy and consciousness you spend on your problems. Out of, let's say, average 16 hours of waking each day, how much time do you think in consciousness and energy is spent on your problems? 16. Sart 16. Yeah, I'll give yourself more credit. 15 and a half. No, actually I would say realistically, about 60, 70% of the time, humans will spend their energy on problems. So why is it when I say start the day out with the simple I exist? Not I exist, but I exist. And feel into it, that realization that you exist. I mean, that's the good news, isn't it? Maybe February 14th next year is not such a good... So how difficult it is to start your day with a simple I exist and feel it. It will absolutely change your perspective. Instead of spending 70% of your time on problems, time and consciousness, it'll start going down to 50, 40, 30, 20. You'll hover at about 15 or 20% of the time still going to problems. Not because you can't get rid of them, you don't want to get rid of them. No. Because, you get down to that low percent, 15% of your time, energy, consciousness on problems. It's kind of fun, actually. Yeah, it is. It's like, I'm just going to hang on to it. It's kind of like, it's like a little self-abuse time each day. It's a little flagellation. It's like, but it's kind of fun. And then you could still relate to other people, and then you could tell yourself how good you are that you can get out of it. So you'll hang on to about 15%. And no, that's good. That's fun. And it's such a change versus 70% of the time, energy, and consciousness going to problems. Have you ever stopped for a moment? I have to answer my own question before I continue. No. Have you ever just stopped for a moment and said to yourself, these problems, they just keep happening over and over again? Duh. Same problem, actually. Same problem. How many lifetimes? Same stinking problem? Same person, same, I mean, we can talk openly, right?
Maybe.
This side of the room is okay. So, but let's say we're talking about other people, not you, of course. But don't they ever stop and say, well, these problems never end. These problems just keep going. People that I know, I'm watching on, I'm not looking at anybody, but They've been married 5, 6 times. And you complain about it? I mean, I can understand you doing it just because you like the experience, but you complain about it then? And the problem is then I hear them talking in their mind, and they can't even remember the names of their exes. I mean, if I really force them, but to them it's just one great big complaint. Which one great big bad relationship. And some of them don't even realize. They wake up in the morning, who's she? It's my fourth. Oh, okay. The amount of time and energy, hi dear, the amount of time and energy that goes to problems. Well, you could change it like that, with consciousness. So I want you to now look at yourselves. How much of can you just give me an I exist first thing in the morning before you get out of bed? Yeah. You say that, but can you just give it to yourself, the I exist, before you get out of bed? It's not a magic formula. It's a realization. It's consciousness. I exist. Boom. Basic consciousness trumps everything else. If you can wake up in the morning consciously, rather than the way you're doing it, it will absolutely change the day. You don't have to do anything besides that. You don't have to say it for 20 minutes. You don't have to do anything else. Just wake up in the morning and feel it. I exist. And then get up and go about your day. But observe how your day is lining up very, very different. You're lining up different. The year of consciousness is a year of awareness. The awareness of your day, the awareness of the awareness. Consciousness is not a power nor an energy. It's simply awareness. And it's interesting because one would argue that, well, humans must be aware. They have to be able to drive a car and write their name and remember their social security number. And, well, that's not awareness. That's all memorization. There's little or no awareness in there. They don't write their name with awareness. They just write their name. It's like, duh, just, it's rote. They do it over and over. This is the year of consciousness for you. It's a year of awareness. It's so simple. You don't really actually have to work on it. You just have to be aware of it. Changes everything. It's going to change the planet. Absolutely change the planet. As awareness comes more and more, and as we talked about in Pronos, there's going to be some who absolutely fight it. They don't want it. They don't want awareness, actually. Why would that be? Why would one not want awareness? Power, change, fear. Fear with awareness comes, awareness. It comes realization, comes knowingness. And maybe there's a lot who don't want that, who fear it. What happens if I have to look at myself and I don't like what I see?